What's going on there, boys and girls of the Vape community? It's Dad Vapor here, coming at you with a review of the Simple mod. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing the Simple by A-Mod. You can pick one of these guys up at easiggity.com. It's super cool. I like this device for many reasons, some just being the fact that it has no voltage drop. This thing has no voltage drop whatsoever. The other reason why is because it has that hybrid top cap. We'll go down closer into that, into the close-up area. Also, it has a recess button with 6 vent holes on it. And it comes in a lot of different colors. It comes in like black, copper, stainless steel, Tiffany blue, green, white, which looks dope as hell. You guys should check it out. Tiffany blue, pink, and green. It also weighs about 0.3 pounds without the battery, so it's super light. I also really like it. It's about the size of my ring finger on here. And it hits hard. It hits like a train, man. It hits like a freaking train. Let me show you. This thing's awesome. We'll go closer into the specs when we go down to the close-up. So let's do that, guys. So this is the Simple Mod close-up. I've kind of unscrewed this button here a little bit so I can it's a little easier to undo, because, and that is one of the cons that I'm going to talk about later, to where you actually need like a knife, a screwdriver, flathead, or a coin to sort of get this button off. So I did unscrew it a little bit to make it a little easier. But yeah, so this is the Simple Mod here. It's pretty cool. Like I said, it's really compact. It's about the size of my ring finger there. So if you want to put it in your pocket, it's not going to take up too much space. And just as a comparison with the battery, it is quite small, which is something that I kind of like, just because like there are a lot of mods out there that do take up a lot of space, and it can be quite cumbersome sometimes. So this is one of those mods that just is like all around great. The button is absolutely fantastic, and this is why I kind of left it out, so I could unscrew it a little easier. Let's go over the button real quick. Put that thing aside. The button is made up of like, I'd say about 4 components. You've got this little copper contact here, and you've got this horseshoe ring holding pretty much everything together, and then you've got the threads, and then the actual button itself with the little Simple on it. Yeah, and then you've got, like I said, in the up close or the FaceTime, you've got the 6 vent holes here to kind of give it that safety measure that we all kind of look for. And if you can see here, it does, like I said, you do need a knife or something to kind of get this thing off, or if you have like long fingernails, which I do not, that kind of helps too. On the inside, the machining's really well done. It's almost flawless, and I say almost because, well, I can't, say it's perfect, because everything's a little imperfect. And on the inside, if you stick in here, your finger in there, you can kind of feel the ridges on the inside, which is pretty cool. But in some mods, if the ridges are too like thick or too big, they actually prevent some batteries from actually fitting in there. I learned that the hard way. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And on the FaceTime, I talked about the hybrid top cap. The hybrid top cap basically means that this top cap here does not come off. It's a part of the tube, and it means that the contact is actually not made by a 510 connecting or floating pin. It's actually touching straight to the battery, which gives it that little voltage drop, or that no voltage drop there, because in every point of contact in a mod is a bit of voltage drop. So that's why this device is so amazing at cloud chasing, and you can absolutely get the best out of your battery here. It is a 1-to-1 clone. I mean, there's not much else you could really do to this to make it completely different. It is like a basic 5 components, and that's just being the parts that make up the button and the actual tube itself. So it is a 1-to-1 clone. You can find these by A-Mod at easiggity.com. In the new ones, however, the new version of this, the copper contact here is actually replaced by a copper contact with a Phillips head screwdriver in it. So that kind of replaces that, replaces that the horseshoe ring in there. I use words. But this button is very clicky, as you can see. Like, it is awesome. It does have a spring inside there. I forgot to mention that. It does have a spring, which I usually prefer magnets, but springs work really well, especially in this device. They do. So that's pretty cool there. And the measurement wise, this thing is about 22 millimeters wide. So it'll sit flush on any 22 millimeter device, and it does sit flush. It's almost seamless. Like if you put on a copper addy on there, it's almost seamless, which is wonderful. It is about 78 millimeters in length. So like I said, it's about the size of my ring finger, which is cool because especially if you put it in your pocket, you can still, you know, have room for other stuff. The stoof. And that's pretty much it. I'll take it back up to FaceTime. We can vape on it, talk about the pros and cons and all that good stuff. What's up, guys? So there are a couple pros and cons to this device. Some of the pros are that it has no voltage drop, and this next pro is going to be completely subjective. I think that it's got a great size. It's super compact, which is awesome. Another thing, that it has an amazing button. It's super clicky. It's right there. It's recessed. That's what I love, and especially it's got the 6 vent holes in there, which is awesome. So another thing is it's got a very simple design, hence the name. Put the name up here. It's got a very simple design, which is awesome, just because of the voltage drop and just the fact that this thing, it doesn't have very many moving parts, so if you lose something to this, it's going to be pretty easy to fix or, you know, replace. A lot of vapor. Another thing that is, it hits hard as fudge nuggets. Alright, this thing is amazing for cloud chasing. Let me give you a little quick toke. This thing hits harder than pretty much all of my other 18650 batteries. It hits harder than the Rig, the AR, it hits harder than my Fuhattan, it hits harder than pretty much everything I've got, and I think that's due to the fact that it has no voltage drop and the fact that, you know, copper contacts and such. There's a little dry hit in there. Anyways, the price is awesome too. And that's one of the other things that I really like about this thing. If you go to eCiggity.com or if you go somewhere else online, you can find these about for $34.99, and that's an amazing price, especially for what you get. I actually got mine in store for about $27.99 without tax. So this thing is incredibly affordable. Unfortunately, it is, and these next few are going to be completely subjective. These are the cons. Sorry, my cat just moved the camera. It is a little too small. Some people really like that very, you know, good feel in their hands to where it's pretty long and, you know, hefty and all that stuff. The thing is, some people think that it's a little too light. I don't. I think it's an awesome weight, 0.3 pounds without the battery, which is pretty cool. So let me give you more toke. Another thing is that it's just like the button. Some people don't really have a coin or long fingernails or a knife on them at all times. Some people do. So you might have issues with taking this button out. I haven't had any issues yet because I've pretty much either been around someone with long fingernails or with a knife or a coin or whatever. So I haven't had an issue with that. Also, another pro, forgot to add this though, is that this button does not back out, which is a huge thing for some people, especially on my Fuhattan. It's a lot of times that thing, the more I use it, the more the button will back out, and the more chance it has to arc because of the battery, which is never a good thing. Also, side note, if your button starts to get hot, stop using it. There have been a lot of instances where people have continued to use it, and it has ended badly for them. So be mindful, be smart about battery safety, okay? And if you want me to, put it down in the comments and I'll go over some battery safety stuff. I might just do that anyways. But yeah, it's just like sometimes this button does not back out like on my other mods. So that's another pro to this thing. Another con could be like that on some devices it doesn't sit flush, like on the Stellaire it doesn't really sit flush on there, just because that one's like a 20 millimeter or 21 millimeter Addy. But that's pretty much it. Let me give you one more quick toke and I'll let you guys go. So next, I'm probably going to be doing a review on either the Dark Horse or the Little Boy, and the Little Boy is currently what I've been running this thing on. So look out for those coming up in the next few days. Alright guys, vape safe, be safe, have an awesome day.